Hey everyone, and welcome to my first ever live on tape posing session. For those of you who aren't aware, a few days ago on this channel, I posted in the community tab, I posted a poll. I listed a couple of Iron Man armors, this guy, and a couple of other figures, and said, which one would you guys like to see me do a full, mostly unedited posing session of? And this one was pretty much the overwhelming favorite. I think that there was one other that came kind of close. Which one was that? I think it was Luke Skywalker Crate that a lot of people also voted for. I was really surprised that nobody voted for the Iron Man armors, that very few people rather voted for the Iron Man armors. But from what I understand, there's not a whole lot going on with this figure on the internet, so I'm kind of glad that this is the one that was selected. Hopefully you guys get some enjoyment out of this. I've got all the accessories spread out here in front of me. Here's a photo right there to give you an idea of what that looks like. So this is everything, legitimately everything that this figure comes with, and it is a lot. We've got several hands, we've got a few guns, 4 guns, a dagger, a vibroblade, and 3 lightsabers, a jetpack, rising phoenix, if you will, and several hands. Did I mention the hands? I think I mentioned the hands. All right, cool. The first impressions. All right, full disclosure, I've had some FaceTime with this figure at the Sideshow offices. So this isn't my first time getting hands on this Mythos Boba Fett 6-scale figure. So I'm kind of aware of what I'm in for here. That's probably a poor choice of words. It's a solid figure. It's a pretty mean figure, man. It's got a lot of cool stuff going for it. Out of the box, it needs to be dressed a little bit. You can see here that the Death Star. You can see here this Boba Fett figure is looks like this is a little bit asymmetrical. I'm trying to determine if that's by design, and I don't think it is, because when you look back here at the strap, that's off center as well. Yeah, it looks like these bags are kind of going, these pouches, bags, are going off to the side here, and I kind of want to get all of that back in alignment, especially given that that might affect the way that, let's see. Okay, the belt is not, in fact, attached to the the skirt. I don't know what the official name of it is, but I'm just going to adjust that, have it wrap around a little bit less. Actually, it's quite a bit tighter too. Great box art, right? Yeah, okay, you can see that this thing is meant to be right in the middle of it, of the armor. So I'm just going to keep fussing with that until I get it right. The pouches are asymmetrical too. That's interesting. It looks like there are 4 on one side and 5 on the other. So that just kind of exacerbated the whole illusion of it being off center. So it wasn't as bad as it originally looks. There is a magnet here on this pouch that is a little bit tricky. Magnets, I guess that such small magnets are really hard to. It's really hard to make them strong. Really hard to create that magnetism, if you will. Okay, and the posing session is over. Anyway, so this is really kind of what it's like when I do this. I mean, when we're doing the posing videos at Sideshow, those things are heavily edited. Some of them are edited for language. Others are just edited to run in the time allotted. Others just take out some of the, I don't want to say difficulties. Sometimes it takes me longer to do things than others. But they really do make me look like I know what I'm doing. It's not as fast typically as you would have it, as you would think. So, what I'm saying basically is I don't know how long this is going to take, especially since we have these 3 bad boys back here. I don't know if we can see these, but back here at the back there are 3 leather straps. Each one is meant to hold one of these lightsabers. Interesting notion. Boba Fett being apparently being a Jedi hunter. I can see it. Okay. I'm trying to determine what's the best placement for this thing. I don't know that Sideshow included directions. I certainly didn't see any when I took it out of the box. So it's kind of up to you, basically. You can check out the box art maybe and find it there, or go to the product photos on their product page, and that would be a good help. I'm not going to waste my time with that. I'll just go ahead and wing it. Let's see, 1 strap, 2 straps. The other one that I had my hands on, they were a fair bit tighter. These are a bit loose, so I think it's safe to say that they'll probably fall out a time or two while I'm in the midst of this process. But I just want to make sure everything is in good shape before I begin the pose. And hey, who knows, I might get lucky and this whole thing may just hold together. There are quite a few elements on this on these lightsabers that could help to hold it in place. Yeah, that one's pretty loose. I don't know if you can see there, but this one closest to the inside is kind of loose. And I'm concerned that it will fall out, but you know what? It is lightweight and it is very sturdy. Feels like ABS plastic, so I'm not too terribly concerned. Look, there's a dagger. Look, there's a sheath. Wow, that was great. Worked out really well. Okay, pistol. Do I want to have him with this pistol? No. No, I don't think so. I'm just gonna check both of these. Oh, these hands are stiff. Not the stiffest I've seen, but they're certainly really, really, I don't want to say inflexible. They're definitely not inflexible, but just trying to figure out if I can use any of these as another gun hand. Yeah, there we go. All right, that works. I want to have him wielding 2 guns. Yeah. In fact, this is going to be pretty awesome. Because I think I'm going to use this for a prompt for the... yeah, I'm going to use this as a prompt example for one of the upcoming daily poser challenge things that Sideshow and I are doing together. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get his backpack on him. This is a much simpler system for putting the backpack on than the older systems from Sideshow. There we go. Because the previous ones, and I think I even made it more painstaking than I had to in the How to Be a Poser video. But the previous ones, you had to really mess with the D-rings on which the hooks on the backpack, I keep calling it a backpack, the jetpack had these hooks that you had to really manipulate the D-rings in order to get them to go on, and that's no longer a concern. So that goes on a lot easier now, and it looks pretty good. I need to raise this stand up. He was falling over, and I'm sure it didn't look good, but trust me when I tell you that that was my fault, not Sideshow's. Totally didn't have the stand all the way up, supporting him in his groin, so he just kept sliding out from under. All right, now this thing, if you just leave it hang, which in some situations I suppose you would, but I really want to show off, like if he was walking into a cantina and he was keeping a low profile, let's say he was just, we don't know for sure that Boba Fett is a Mandalorian. He wears Mandalorian armor, but so did his father, and we have it on record from a member of the ruling house of Mandalore that Jango Fett was not, in fact, a Mandalorian. No idea where he got the armor. I think we'll find out more about that in The Mandalorian Season 2, perhaps. It's interesting knowing that Filoni is part and parcel to this whole process with Favreau. I know that Filoni had a clear idea in his mind, and so did George Lucas, of what the Mandalorians should be. But now that Lucas is no longer helming things, it will be interesting to see where Favreau and Filoni can take it now that they're kind of let off the leash, so to speak. Filoni's, by the way, I think I've never met the man, but based on interviews with him and how he's talked, and the episodes he's directed, and the stories that he's told with both Clone Wars and Rebels, I get the impression that he is quite the purist. He is, a lot of people have defined him as the heir apparent, which is a great name to be stuck with when it comes to being an association with George Lucas and with Star Wars in general. Real feather in his cap, so to speak. Now, if it were me, I would have gone with a much stiffer wire in this cloak. And I might have made it a bit more, much stiffer at the top, like around the neck. But you can make it work, as you can see. It's kind of weird that I'm styling the cloak, poncho, whatever, before anything else. But I'm just kind of getting reacquainted with the figure at this point. And I'm sorry if you guys find this tedious, but it really is part of the process. And I told you this was kind of going to be live, and this is exactly what it's like for me, getting to know a figure and trying to make it work. Okay. So that's working for me. I kind of want to keep that as it is now. What can I do here? Look at this. Nice fabric. Nice fabric. I like Sideshow's fabric choices these days more often than I like Hot Toys fabric choices these days. For one thing, 9 times out of 10, it's actually fabric of some sort. Talking about the one thing that really surprised me. I know that I just did a live stream on Jedi Patrol the other night. Hot Toys live stream on Jedi Patrol the other night, and somebody was asking what figure has surprised you the most, that you were expected to be disappointed in, and you, in point of fact, were not. For me, I didn't answer that properly. I threw out some. I looked around my room and I saw what was up there, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is cool, but yeah, this is cool, this is cool, this is cooler than I thought it was going to be. There's quite a few figures up there that I feel that way about, but in reality, I think the one that surprised me the most was the Magneto 6-scale figure by Sideshow. Wow, I had so much fun with that. I've got it. I didn't intend to hold on to it. I just wanted to get it in my collection, play with it for a little while, and then send it on its way. But I really like that figure. I want to keep it. Okay, so we're seeing here that I've got some pretty cool motion implied with the fabric elements of Boba's costume. And the reason I did that first, which is not something I would normally do, is because there's a bit of looseness going on with these joints in the hips. Just a bit. I mean, it's really not anything worth mentioning, and yet here I am talking about it. But it's, I'm concerned, there's a little bit of concern that I'm going to get the pose not dialed in and then try to futz with the fabric elements, and when I do that, it's going to knock the pose out of alignment. And I don't want that. So, you can see these little tools in here. This is something else you should pay attention to. These tools here, they should be exposed, which means that knee pad needs to be up, riding up a little bit higher. I kind of feel like these things could benefit from some beard wax. Fortunately, I've recently started to grow facial hair. So I may later on down the line try to see how that works, but in case it's a colossal failure, I'm not going to do it on camera. Okay, so that's taken care of. He's not going to be wielding this gun. This gun is going to be actually in its holster, so I'm just going to go ahead and put that in there. I'm totally just doing everything bass-ackwards here. I normally would have had all this stuff done before futzing with any of the fabric elements. this gun. I don't know. I don't know if I want to have this thing over his shoulder or not. Because if you're on the run from a bunch of dudes, and if you're on the run from a bunch of dudes, are you really just going to keep that massive gun slung to your back? Or are you going to chuck it aside and just have your more accessible blasters at your disposal? Don't know. Never been in combat. Never hope to be in combat. Hope to never be in combat. And this is kind of working. I might have gone another way, but yeah, there's a reason I'm not in production or development. Okay. So let me just go ahead and get this guy into his home. This is notoriously, look at that. I was about to say that this is a notoriously difficult hand to get onto the gun here, but clearly that's not a concern. Okay. So that's in there. Let's go ahead and get that hand where it belongs. The name of this pose is, the theme behind this pose is going to be dual wielding. And I don't know, what should I do? Should I have him flying? Because this stand won't support a flight pose. I'd have to bring in like a hot toy stand. I've got a couple of them lurking around here somewhere. One's being used by War Machine behind me. But just for the sake of this, I could probably break it down temporarily. All right, here we go. Let's get that in there. This is one you can probably just chuck the gun out and just try to get the hand on first. I really don't want to break that gun while I'm trying to make this happen. There we go. See, this is about Sideshow, man. They've got some great... Those hands go in there and they stay in there. Yeah, I think this is still going to work. It's not going to do what I'd hoped for. But the plus side is that now since it's not doing what I'd hoped for, the plus side is that it's still... It's not doing what I hoped it would do, but the plus side of that is that I don't need to search for a flight stand. So it's not going to have I'm not going to be able to have him like dual wielding like that, but I can at least have him holding another gun, which is kind of crucial. Okay, this is where the fun begins. Also, just for the sake of why the hell not, I'm going to try to get this rifle up here onto his shoulder. I don't think this is the shoulder that he would be carrying this on. Yeah, probably not. You know what? No. Let's not do that. Oh, God. All right. All of you out there right now that are just like, oh my God, this is taking so long. You only have yourself to blame. This is legitimately the most challenging figure that you could have picked for me to do, which is probably why you did it, let's be fair. You either wanted to see me suffer, or you're needing some assistance with your own. Maybe both, I don't know. Bunch of sickos out there, you guys are all sadistic. Okay, basic AF. So that's the start. Out of my way, hands, out of my way, gun. Yeah, very, very basic. So now comes the time that I'm going to tweak it. Now this is also the time that I want to temporarily lose this stand. See, this is why doing it on How to Be a Poser is so much better, because you guys can get a better idea. Like, I've got the whole poser vision going for me. When I'm doing this with Sideshow. Okay, so I think I want one of these feet going forward, but I don't know which one. I think this one. Yeah. The nice thing about this looseness going on. And again, I'm using looseness very, very broadly because this ain't really all that loose. But it's pliable enough that I can just work the hips and the legs kind of react. Now, good God. All right. I'm kind of, man, this is really, I'm picking up some serious Mandalorian vibes from all this. Good God. I'm picking up some serious Mandalorian vibes from this whole process here, and I think it's probably because I've been rewatching the show. Again, 6th time, I think, for me. God, I'm obsessed. I probably should have done this whole posing segment while wearing my Novos Mandalorian helmet, which would have been... Yeah, that's a great idea, Terry. Just let's up the degree of difficulty. Why not? In all reality, I think that I've got this thing pretty much dialed, dudes. Yeah. Get that arm up just a touch more. Not that much. And, whoa. Crap. Make sure there are no wardrobe malfunctions going on here. Yeah. Okay, I think that's pretty much got it. Just in time. The neighbor has decided to mow his lawn. I'm sure that's going to show up on the video. And nobody wants to deal with hearing that. So. Not quite where I want it to be. I really want him leaning forward, though. Yeah, that's got it. All right, cool. Just back off, try to get an idea of... Yeah, I think that this could use a bit more futzing, but, well, there you go. So, yeah, I'm just going to call that quits and let my neighbor mow his yard. Boom. Hope you guys liked it. Thanks for tuning in. Hope it was worth your time. If you like it, let me know, and maybe I'll do another one sometime in the future. Maybe I'll refine the process. Until next time, be good to your plastic.